Happy Sunday! I am so excited because I am doing my BEA and BookCon haul. I have this giant box that arrived at my door, super huge, and it was filled with about 85 or so books. These are all the books that I received at BEA and BookCon this year. I had so much fun. Because I have so many books here, I'm not going to spend a lot of time going into the details on each one of these books, but if you see one that kind of pops out to you, the ones that I'm most excited about, I'll give like a little couple word tag thing so you guys can get a feel of what the book is about. But I'm just going to go ahead and go by publication order so you guys can get a feel of what's coming out when, and hopefully you'll learn about some new cool releases, because there's a lot of books here I hadn't heard of before I went to BEA, and when I read the synopsis, I was like, that sounds so good. So I'm really excited to get into these books, and you'll be seeing them all coming up a lot in my wrap-ups for the coming months. And yeah, I'm so excited about it. I was really sad that I wasn't able to bring them all home with me. I had to ship them home, but I'm so happy that they all came, and they came super early, which I was not expecting, and I'm really excited about it. So first off, I have one that was published already back in April, and that is Aladdin, Far from Agrabah, and this is like one of those twists on a Disney tale, I believe. And yeah, this one already came out in April. Then I have Mistress of the Ritz by Melanie Benjamin, and this was published already in May, and this is a historical fiction novel set in Paris, which I love Paris, so I am definitely intrigued by this one. Okay, I don't have any June releases, but I have a few July releases. Most of the books that I have are released in the fall, so the majority of these ones will be for there, but I have some really cool July releases, including Lock Every Door by Riley Sagar, which I also got signed, which is really cool. I actually already read this one, and I was really excited to finally pick up a Riley Sagar book, because I know a lot of people really liked his other ones, but I haven't read anything, so I was really excited to get this one, and I read it on the plane ride home, which was really fun. Then I have The Chain by Adrienne McKinty, and this one I really wanted to pick up because it is about basically a kidnapping, and then the parents of the child that's kidnapped gets contacted saying that the only way they can get their child back is if they kidnap another child, and then it just keeps going on from there. So it creates a chain of kidnappings basically, and it sounds really like edge of your seat, and I'm really excited to get into this one. Then I have Sophia, Princess Among Beasts by James Patterson with Emily Raymond, which I am assuming means this was written by Emily Raymond, and then James Patterson just put his name on this. But this comes out July 15th, and I actually don't really know much about this one. Then I have Beneath the Tamarind Tree by Isha Sase, and this is a nonfiction book following the experience of almost 300 girls that got kidnapped in a village in Africa by a terrorism group, and it's following like their life story, so what happened to them while they were kidnapped, and then now where they are today. And it sounds really impactful, and definitely one that I'm interested in getting into. I don't read too much nonfiction, but this is one that I'm going to keep on my list for sure. Then I have Three Women by Lisa Taddeo, and I think this is some sort of domestic thriller. Don't really know too much about this one either. There was a lot of thrillers at BEA and BookCon this year. Not too much of YA sci-fi fantasy, but mostly thrillers, which I'm really excited about because it's been a genre that I've been trying to read more of. I've been trying to limit my book buying, so this was a great way for me to be able to get a lot without having to spend a lot of money on. Now moving on to my August books, I've got Beasts of the Frozen Sun by Jill Criswell. This one is really cool, and it sounds super awesome. I actually met Jill Criswell as well and got this one signed too. This is about a girl who has the ability to basically like read people's souls, like if they're a bad person or not. And one of the warriors from their enemy kingdom washes up on the shore, and she finds him, and instead of turning him in, she ends up like staying with him. It sounds really interesting, and Jill Criswell is actually an avid traveler, like world traveler, and so I'm interested in seeing if some of this is inspired by her travels, like different cultures and things like that, which I really love in fantasy. Then I got one I was so excited about, and that was Rage by Cora Carmack. This is the sequel to Roar, which I loved when it came out, and it's been 2 years now, and now we're finally getting the sequel, and I can't wait to read more about this one. This is about a runaway princess, and she has storm magic, and their world kind of revolves around people who have storm magic, and she joins like a rebel group of storm hunters, and it was really cool, and I'm really excited to finally get to read this one. And I also got to meet Cora, and she was so sweet, and she signed this as well, which was so much fun to get to meet her. Then I got the new Karen Slaughter book called The Last Widow, and the tagline is a mysterious kidnapping, a devastating explosion, and a diabolical enemy. So it has something to do with the CDC, and like a doctor at the CDC gets kidnapped and then the FBI gets involved. That's what this is about. Then from Fake Crate, they were having an art giveaway and I got Mind Games by Shanna Silver. And this is about a girl who could hack into people's memories. So like she could hack into her classmates' memories and give them an experience like basically like they lived it even though they didn't. So whatever cool thing that they're wanting to do, she can give you the memory without actually having to do it or actually having the ability to do it. I also got a chapter sampler of The Ventriloquist by E.R. Ramzipour. This is a World War II historical fiction that is inspired by true events, and this is a debut novel. Then I got Tin Badges by Lorenzo Carcaterra, and I have no idea what this one is about. I believe this is a thriller, but yeah, I'm not sure what this one is, but if you know what it is, let me know down below. Okay, now moving on to my September books. I have a lot. This September and October have the most books of all the ones that I got. But the first one being one that has a gorgeous cover, and that is After the Flood by Cassandra Montag. I actually hadn't heard about this one before attending BEA or BookCon, but this is a debut novel that is like kind of post-apocalyptic. So it's following a woman who is pregnant and something happens, and I don't know if she was like in a coma or whatever, but anyway, she like wakes up to discover the world to be completely different, and it's basically like a post-apocalyptic world, and so it's like her survival story after the flood. So this one sounded really interesting, and I'm super glad that I was able to pick up a copy of this. Next one I'm really excited about, and it's another thriller, and it is The Nanny by Jilly McMillan. I haven't read anything by her. Like I said, I haven't read too many thrillers, but this one sounds really good. It's about a girl when she was young. It's like in the 80s. Her nanny basically went missing, and they never knew what happened to her. And now 30 years later, she's gone back to her childhood home, and things are starting to resurface, and they're trying to figure out like maybe they do know or can figure out what happened to her nanny. And I'm really happy that I was able to snag a copy of this one. I know a lot of people were wanting it, and I'm so excited I was able to get it, and it's definitely one I'm going to be picking up soon for sure. Then I got The Last Train to London by Meg Waite Clayton, and this says on the back that it is following some sort of train that carried thousands of children out of a Nazi-occupied Europe, and one brave woman who helped them escape to safety. This is by the same author who wrote The Lilac Girls, which I never read, but I know that was a really popular historical fiction, and it's definitely one I'm going to keep on my TBR as well. Then I got another one by a really popular author, and that is Akin by Emma Donoghue. She wrote The Room, and the little tagline on this one is, "A retired New York professor's life is thrown into chaos when he takes a young great-nephew to France in hopes of uncovering his own mother's secrets for World War II. So it's like a family novel, I believe. I don't know if there's a mystery element, but we will see. The next book that I have is a YA, and that is Rated by Melissa Gray. This is by the same author who wrote A Girl at Midnight, which is one that I've had on my TBR for a while now. But this is basically everyone in the world has a public rating where you could see what their rating is, and it changes based on what you do in your daily life. And it's based in an academy setting. Then I got A Treason of Thorns by Laura Weymouth. This is a YA fantasy that takes place in the English countryside, and it sounds super interesting, and I hadn't heard of this one either, but now I'm like very intrigued about it. Then I got The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex Haro, and this one I've been hearing Holly Hart's books talk about a lot. She recently read it and really enjoyed it. It's a historical fiction. It's about this girl who lives in a house where she discovers all these door portals, I believe, and it sounds really cool, and the cover is just so beautiful that I couldn't pass it up. Then I got Some Places More Than Others by Renee Watson. This is a middle grade book about a girl who goes home to New York to see her family. She always has been wanting to go, but her dad has never let her, so her dad ends up taking her to go meet his family, and they have some family drama going on. The next one is, seriously, I had two books that I really wanted to get at BookCon, and this was one of the two, and that is Frankly in Love by David Yoon. He is the husband of Nicola Yoon, who wrote Everything, and The Sun Is Also a Star. And this book is following a boy who is a Korean American, and he has very heavy expectations placed on him by his family, and he ends up kind of defying his familial expectations, his cultural expectations, and gets into a relationship with a girl who is not Korean, and I'm interested in this book. It's his very first one, but I really think that Nicola Yoon's books are pretty cute, so I'm interested in this, and I love the cover of it, and I also love any books that feature a strong cultural heritage, so I really am excited for this one. Then another one I'm really excited about is The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd-Jones. I haven't read a book by her, but I know a lot of people in the community have really loved her other books, but this one sounds really intriguing to me. It's based in like a village that's at the base of this mountain that they have rumors of, like a myth that ancient fae used to live in the mountains, but now they are no more. But then it starts getting kind of mysterious and like spooky, I think, and it sounds really, really good. Then another one that I'm so excited about, but I literally do not know anything about it, is There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. Holy moly, this book. I love this cover. This cover is so, so, so gorgeous. And I have been hearing great things about this book, and I just read the first thing. It says, "The age of darkness approaches. 5 lives stand in its way. Who will stop it or unleash it?" And I'm sold. I just can't wait to read this book. I don't want to read anymore. I just want to read it. So excited. Then I got Tiger Queen by Annie Sullivan. Annie Sullivan wrote A Touch of Gold, which I read last year. It's her debut, and I love Annie. She is so, so, so stinking sweet. I got to spend quite a bit of time with her at BEA and BookCon, and we bonded over our love for travel and our love for Disney, and I cannot wait to read this book, and I hope I will love it just as much I loved A Touch of Gold. I believe this one is an Asian desert-y fantasy kind of thing. Then I have The Dutch House by Anne Patchett. I don't know much about this one, but I do know it's set over 5 decades and follows a family. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure to check this one out. Then another one I'm super excited for is The Grace Year by Kim Liggett, and I also got this one signed as well. This one sounds so cool. It reminds me of like a Hunger Games, Handmaid's Tale vibe kind of thing, and I'm really, really excited to check this one out. It sounds super good, and I haven't heard too much buzz about it, but it sounds amazing. Then I got Rewind by Catherine Ryan Howard, sorry. This one sounds really, really cool too. It reminds me of like a modern version of Psycho, so that sounds interesting to you. Check this one out because I'm really excited about this one too. Then I got Slay by Brittany Morris, and this book is being pitched as Ready Player One meets The Hate You Give. And I also got to meet Brittany Morris and have her sign this for me as well, so that was really nice of her, and this cover has really beautiful colors on it. Then another book I don't know too much about is Who Put the Song On by Morgan Parker. This is a YA contemporary that's loosely based on Morgan Parker's own experience as a teenager, so that sounds really, really cute, and I'm definitely excited to pick this one up as well. Okay, now we're to October. We still have so many left. If you guys could see all the books I have here, still have a lot, but we're on to October now, and so I got The Man That Got Away. That is written by, who is this? Lynn Truss, and this cover is so cute. It reminds me of like such a vintage mystery, and that was the main thing that made me pick this up. I don't really know too much about it, but it is set in 1957, which is a time that that really appeals to me. It says on the back too that Lynn Truss is the author of The Funniest Crime Novel of 2018, so her previous book. But yeah, this one just sounded really cute, and I just really liked this cover, so I made sure to grab it. This is another one I don't really know too much about, and that is The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell, but I know she's a really popular thriller author, and this is definitely one that I had on my list to pick up. I don't know anything about this one, but I assume that there is a family upstairs. Then I got Tarnish the Stars by Rosie Thor, and this book is following a girl that has a mechanical heart, so it has like a little sci-fi aspect, which sounds really cool, and this one has a cute cover as well. So I had to change the position of this camera, so please ignore that angle change, but my feet were getting numb from sitting on them in the other way. But anyway, my next book is I Hope You Get This Message by Farah Naz Rishi, and this book sounds really good too. It says We All Looked Up meets The Sun Is Also a Star, and I loved We All Looked Up, so that definitely had me sold on this one, and this is also a debut. Then I have The Beast by Ali Condi and Brendan Reichs. This is the sequel to The Dark Deep, which I read last year, and it's a middle grade book that I super recommend if you have any 8 to 12-year-olds in your life that you think would enjoy like a cute like mystery friendship novel. It reminds me of Stranger Things mixed with the Goonies, and I believe that's also how they pitch it, and it's very, very accurate. So if you have a child in your life you think would enjoy this, I definitely recommend it, and I even really enjoyed this, but I wanted to pick up the second one because I really liked the first one a lot. Then I have the start to a new series by Chris Colfer, and this is The Tale of Magic. I believe this is a prequel series to his Land of Stories series, which I have not read, but it's a middle grade like fairy tale kind of series, I believe. Then I got another one I was really excited about, and that is 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston. This sounds super cute. I know a lot of people that I follow here have been really loving Ashley Elston lately, and this is about this girl who goes through a breakup and then her family sets her up on some blind dates, and it sounds really adorable. Then I got The Burning Shadow by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This book is like a continuation of the Lux series. They had the first one that came out last year, and now this is the second one. Then the one book I had to get at BEA, I had to get Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. He wrote The Perks of Being a Wallflower, which was one of my all-time favorite books, and he hasn't written anything since. But this is a thriller horror kind of novel, and I'm really interested in picking this one up. I cannot wait, but it is super long. It's like 700 and something pages, but it's very floppy. Then I got Ribbons of Scarlet, written by a bunch of authors, and I believe this is a fiction, but I'm not 100% sure. It's about the French women in the French Revolution, but I think this is a fiction novel, but I am not 100% on that one. Then I got another really exciting one. I got Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys. This is her newest book coming out, obviously, and it's about 1957 Spain, and it takes place in Madrid, and I'm really interested in picking this one up. I haven't read anything by her before either, but I'm super excited about this one because the synopsis sounds really, really good. Then I got Shadow Frost by Coco Ma, which this book is really interesting. So it's about it's a fantasy about a unknown mysterious monster that everyone is trying to hunt down. But this girl, Coco Ma, she is so, so, so cute. I got to meet her and she signed this as well. But she finished writing this book when she was 15 years old, and she's only 18 right now, which is really impressive. But yeah, I am really excited about this one. Then I got The Library of Lost Things by Laura Taylor Namey, and this book is about a girl who loves books. Okay, my feet are no longer falling asleep, so I went back to sitting the other way. But I also got a sampler of Rebel by Marie Lu. I'm really excited about this one. I've only read the first book in the Legend series, but I'm really anticipating carrying on with it. And this cover is really, really beautiful too. Then I got How We Fight for Our Lives by C. Jones, and this is a memoir, and I literally know nothing about it. The publisher was just like, here, take this, and I was like, okay. But yeah, I don't know anything about this one, but yeah, if you like memoirs, perhaps check this one out. Then I got The Dragon Warrior by Katie Zhao. This book is a middle grade fantasy inspired by Chinese mythology, so this one sounds very cute as well. It says for fans of Arsha and the End of Time, so if you like that one, maybe check this one out. Now moving into November, I got a very exciting sampler, and that is the sampler for Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater. I didn't even try to get this one because I've never read The Raven Boys and I probably won't, but at the end of BookCon, the people were literally just like, take this. They were like, did not want to bring them back, so I ended up getting a copy of this. Then I got Gravity by Sarah Deming, and this is a contemporary book about a girl who's a boxer. Interesting. I don't think I've ever read a girl that's a boxer. I actually thought this was a nonfiction book when I first saw this cover, but it is not. It is fiction. Then I got one I'm so hyped about, and that is Fate of the Fallen by Kel Cade. This book has a gorgeous cover. This art is going to be on the final edition, but it'll have like the title and stuff here. But this one is being pitched as what if Frodo got assassinated by Sauron and Sam had to finish the quest. So that's kind of the vibe this book gives off, and I am 100% for it. It's an adult fantasy, and I cannot wait to start this one. Definitely one that's going to be at the top of my list. Another one I'm super excited about is The Deep by River Solomon. I haven't read anything by River Solomon, but I have a lot of their books on my TBR. This one, as you could tell by the cover, is like a mermaid book, and it sounds really cool, and the cover is super beautiful, so I'm definitely really into this one and we'll be picking it up. And it's also very short. It's just like a novella. Another one people were freaking out over was Girls of Storm and Shadow, which is the sequel to Girls of Paper and Fire, which I know everyone was loving last year, and I was able to meet her as well and got this one signed. Actually haven't read Girls of Paper and Fire, but I know a lot of people have really loved that one, and this one is coming out in November, so if you are anticipating the sequel, look out for it around then. Then the other one of the two books that I had to get at BookCon is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I am so excited about this book. I'm so happy that I got it. I couldn't even believe that they had ARCs for it there, and I'm just like blown away that I was even able to pick one up. This is by the author of The Night Circus, and I don't think she's written a book since The Night Circus, but I haven't read that one quite yet, but I do have it on my TBR shelf. But this is going to be one that I'm going to be reading during the month of June, or at least trying to. But it's about a guy who's at a library and he finds a book that is like his life chronicled, and then he ends up getting like roped up into this secret society stuff, and it sounds really, really cool. Then the other book I had to get at BEA was Queen of the Conquered by Karen Callender. I don't think this is like YA. I think this is an adult fantasy, but I'm not 100% certain about that. But this is a Caribbean inspired fantasy, which I've never read before, and I'm really excited. Okay, so I just only have 2 books that I have coming out in December. The first one being The Wives by Taryn Fisher, and this is a thriller. I haven't read any of her thrillers before. I did read the Never Never series written with Colleen Hoover, and I hated it, but I think that that was mostly probably because of Colleen Hoover. But this is a thriller where a person finds out that their husband has other wives, I believe. And I am really excited about this one. This one is one of those thrillers that I'm definitely going to have at the top of my list too, because this one sounds really good. Then I have another book that they were just basically trying to throw at people, and that is Africaville by Jeffrey Colvin. And I also have no idea what this one is about. I believe that it is nonfiction. So if you like nonfiction, this one might be one to check out. Okay, so I lied. So I had 3 books I really wanted to get at BEA. I had Imaginary Friends, Queen of the Conquered, and then this book. So I'm moving into my January titles now as well. So all these books are coming out in January 2020. And that is The Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kemmerer. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I have this one in my hands. I got an early copy of A Curse So Dark and Lonely last year, and so I read an early version of it, and I was like, how am I gonna wait until 2020 to read the sequel? I don't have to now. I am so excited about this one. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I absolutely loved the first one, and I cannot wait to continue on with this one. You believe you'll be seeing this one in a wrap-up coming up very soon. Then I have one of the most unfortunate covers I've ever seen, and that is Throw Like a Girl by Sarah Henning. This cover is just not it. It's about a girl who is playing football. Then I have one I'm really excited about, and that is Scavenge the Stars by Tara Sim, and this is a gender-bent retelling of the Count of Monte Cristo, so I believe it's about a lot of revenge, and I cannot wait to get to this one too. This is one I hadn't heard about either until BEA, and I'm really excited about it now that I know what it is about. Then I also have The Followers by Megan Angelo, and this one sounds really intriguing. It's basically like in the future, celebrities have their lives broadcast publicly 24/7. They are just always being publicly broadcast, but then it like has some sort of mystery element and some sort of thriller-ish aspect, I believe, but it sounds really cool. Then I have a new title by a really much beloved author who I have a couple books of on my TBR, and that is Emery Lord, The Map from Here to There, which I believe is a continuation from one of her other books that I have not read yet, but this cover is really, really cute, and I've heard that they're rebranding the other book to match this one, and I'm really excited about that one because I love this cover. It has like a desk with some cute little photos and different things like that, but I am really happy that I got this one, and she's definitely an author that I've been really wanting to dive into a little bit more, so now I have another one by her that I could start. Then I have When We Were Vikings by Andrew David MacDonald, and this book sounds really, really weird and not at all anything that is up my alley, so we'll see. I'm gonna try to do like a chapter of each of these books to see how they go, but I'm not too sure about this one. Then my last January release is The Tenant by Katrin Engeberg. This is a thriller that is set in Copenhagen, and if you guys didn't know, I'm actually going to Copenhagen in literally a month, and I cannot believe it, but I'm definitely gonna be taking this one with me on my trip and reading it while I'm there because obviously. We're to the last of the arcs. This is my last arc, and it's in February, and it is The Gravity of Us by Phil Stamper. This is a contemporary book with a little bit of a science fiction twist, but it's coming out in February 2020. Then I do have some finished copies that I picked up at BEA and BookCon as well, including The Wedding Date and The Proposal by Jasmine Guillory. I actually had checked this one out from the library for my trip to New York, so it was really convenient that I was able to pick up a copy, and both of these are signed as well, so these ones sound really cute. It's about a girl and a guy, and they're basically in an elevator, and then he ends up asking her to be his fake girlfriend for a wedding. So it sounds really cute, and it's definitely one that I've been hearing really good things about from the people who like adult, contemporary, so really excited to pick up this one. I also got a signed copy of Trials of Apollo by Rick Riordan. I actually did not continue with his books past Percy Jackson, but he was signing there, so I picked up one of these. Then I got 4 graphic novels, including Midas by Ryan North, Shelley Peroline, Braden Lamb. This is a science fiction novel about these kids who basically have to protect King Midas's dead body from touching things, I believe. And they are just trying to like protect it from people because obviously he will destroy things. Then I got another one with an ugly cover, and that is Deadly Class by Rick Remender, Wes Craig, and Lee Lowridge. And this one actually has a really cool art style when you open it up, but just this cover has this really stupid TV show cover, which I guess it's a TV show on Sci-Fi. And I literally have no idea what this one is about, but I've heard good things. Then I got the new Lumberjanes graphic novel. I love Lumberjanes. Really excited to be able to pick this one up. This is the first one that's not like a comics bind up. This is its own graphic novel. Then I got Destroyer by Victor LaValle's. This is a Frankenstein retelling. Yeah, so I got a lot of books at BEA and BookCon, which means I'm going to be having to doing a lot of reading. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about these books. If you got any good recommendations, make sure to let me know that down below, because I had so many books and so many good recommendations, and I just can't even believe that I got all of these books this year. It's absolutely insane, and definitely is not good for my TBR, but I'm really excited to pick these ones up. I can't wait to read some more of them and get to tell you guys what I think. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!